I don't get behind these very often. This is definitely a celebration, and she wouldn't want it to be anything but that, so it would tick her off if we didn't make it just that. So I'm not going to make a lot of eye contact today because I'll probably get emotional, and that's not a pretty sight. I've also typed what I'm going to say because I got to stay focused so I don't cry. I'm sure Mom's looking down on me right now and saying, "Good Lord, Beaver, if I taught you nothing about speaking." It's been a crazy week, It's been a crazy week, Mom. Cut me some slack. Patrick and I have been in discussions all week about what we wanted to say today. And before I go any further, I'd like to say what a complete godsend he, along with Tony, Jane, Norma, Lynn, Tom, Leslie, and countless others, Keith, have been not only this week, but really for years. My appreciation really can't be articulated. Again, Patrick and I came to the conclusion that it would be a layup and actually pretty lazy and boring if we just got up here and rattled off Mom's professional accomplishments, of which there are literally hundreds and maybe thousands. That's hardly news. And most of, if not all, of the people in this world and watching online, which we appreciate you being here, know about those anyway. Today, I'm going to drill a little deeper and share my experience after having a front row seat to what was a simply incredible human being and life. Whenever people ask me about my parents, my first response is that I hit the lottery. I have two great fathers in Bailey and Jerry, and of course, Mom. And they all love me and always have my back. Even when I didn't make it so easy for them to do so. This is probably going to shock a lot of you here today, but as a teenager, I could be somewhat of a challenge. Actually, Mom was saying recently that as a 55-year-old, I'm also still quite a challenge. But I also knew where I stood, and I always knew they had my back. Mom would be the first to tell me when I screwed up, and her punishments were the stuff of legend. From months-long groundings, I think I was pretty much grounded from 1981 to 84. But Mom always pointed out that somehow I always managed to show up at all the parties, even though I was grounded. Then she made me memorize the entire SAT verbal section, which I crushed. Math was my problem. But she always told me that while she might be angry with me, you know, God help the person that said anything bad to her about me. She didn't play that. She was always in my corner, no matter what, and that was, you know, that was an incredible feeling to always know that. One more thing I've always wanted people to know about Mom is she and I kind of had a running joke, and I mean, even when I was young, because I remember Mom every day was up at 4 a.m. Every day I would hear her before school. I might wake up in the middle of the night. She's walking the floors in the kitchen. She's rehearsing her stories. She's working on her timing. If I, you know, was lucky enough to maybe even go downstairs in the middle of the night, I was the audience. You know, I would tell her what I thought worked and what didn't, and she listened some of the time. You should see literally the thousands of notepads still at the house. Tony and I were talking about the other day that have her notes of how she comes up with ideas, and you know, she was a little bit. She never really threw away anything. I'm not going to say she was a hoarder, but I found all my baby outfits this week and like 2 of my retainers at the house. So, you know, it's possible that she may have been right there. She wrote ideas down nonstop all the way through last week. I mean, she was still working in bed when she passed away. Mom was a grinder, and it was just funny because people would always come up to her and say, you're just a natural. Well, yeah, I mean, she had a lot of talent, more talent in her pinky than I've got in my whole body, but she made sure it wasn't wasted. She worked harder at her craft than anyone I've ever seen to make sure she could use it for the betterment of people. That was her mission. There were two loves for Mom, family and Elon. You'll also notice that when I talk about Mom, I also include Jerry, because that's just the way it was. They were a team, and I really couldn't talk about one without the other. This morning, to clear my head, I wanted to kind of be mentally right for this. It's been a long week. I took a walk, and I walked through Elon's campus just because I thought, that would ground me and get me focused on her love for Elon and the things that she's done. And, I passed Jim Swanner Tennis Court, named after her father, Alumni Gym and Robertson Court, where Ryder and I both played. She was so proud of that. The Allen and Norma White Bell Tower, the Shar Center, which is also Robertson Court, the new track and field facility, and the new turf football field. I mean, those are the really cool material and physical things that Jerry and Jeanne did for Elon, but they pale in comparison to the thousands of positive and uplifting interactions that Mom and Jerry had with Elon's students, not just athletes, everybody, and faculty, and administration. I just can't even fathom the number of lives they touched. Mom and Jerry loved Elon. Lastly, on to family. I've touched upon how Mom loved me. She was most happy when I was happy, from my business accomplishments to my personal life. She's welcomed my fiance Nisha and her son Tyler into our family with open arms, and was truly excited for our future. But let's face it, I was chopped liver when it came to Ryder and Gray. Once they showed up, a typical phone call used to be, prior to them, hey Mom, hey Beaver, how's it going? Really, tell me all about your day, blah, blah, blah. That was our conversation forever. Now, it was, with Ryder and Gray being on scene, it's, hey Mom, how you doing? I'm good, Beaver. And then she'd say, how's it going? And I'd say, well, work's decent. Yeah, that's cool. Now, Ryder had the thing with the car. Gray had the thing with his test. And so I realized that she had moved on, and I love that. One tattoo, I have a funny story about tattoos. So from the time I was in the crib till now, Mom lectured me on the perils of tattoos and how it was going to take me down a bad road. So, and if I ever got a tattoo, by God, she was going to disown me, put me out of the will, hire a hitman, it was over. So of course I never got a tattoo, which some may find hard to believe, but I don't have a tattoo. And of course, when Ryder and Gray were born, I preached to them from an early age, that I didn't want them to get a tattoo because she would disown me. She would kick me out of the wheel. She would hire a hitman. Of course, they both have tattoos. So the first one, Ryder got a beaver on his butt. I guess I can say that, sorry. ASS, whatever. And I said, Ryder, why would you get a tattoo of a beaver on your butt? And he said, well, you're always on my butt. He said something else, and I kind of thought that was cool in retrospect, and then he got the world's worst tattoo in Vegas, which I know he regrets, because I sure do when I see it. And then Gray recently also got a tattoo. So, I'm thinking, and the word got to me that Mom found out about the tattoo. Ryder got through, but Gray didn't. Social media. So I get a message that Mom's wanting to get in touch with me and talk to me about these tattoos. So I know I'm getting ready to receive heavy fire. And so I put on the helmet, strap up, because I'm getting ready to get crushed. And this is how I know how much she loves them. So nervously, I give her a call, and she says, I said, Mom, listen, yeah, they got a tattoo, and I knew about it. And Mom says, well, Beaver, it's a new world out there, son. And I'm like, really? Okay. Okay, new world, take the helmet off, we're good. So anyway, they could do no wrong in her eyes, and I know she's super proud of the young men they are. I am. They're unbelievable. I hit the lottery with them as well. So what a life, and I'm the luckiest man in the world to have been her son. I'm going to miss her.